Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to my cultural speech. Before I get started, I want to introduce my friends who are here today.
Hi, I'm Alex Granson.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Renaud.
Hi, Teddy Purdy.
Excellent. And they're all actors, so they're used to kind of this format of Zoom, of self-tapes, and these things kind of behind me here. So today's going to be a little bit different speech. We're talking about a cultural background. For me, something that people often don't know, but some of my close friends do, is that I have some spiritual abilities. I would be you'd call us a spiritual sensitive, which is kind of weird to say in a public format, but it's very interesting. I have three gifts. I have clairvoyance, which is sight, both in the waking world and dream. Clairaudience, which means I often hear things that are not there, and clairsentience, which deals with feelings in a room as well too. Now, these gifts started for me when I was about 5 or 6 years old. I think that's a very common age for a lot of people actually have in their life when things start to manifest. I have a distinct memory of shadow people in my childhood home. My parents one time had stepped out, I think, to go visit a neighbor, and there were two shadow people down the hallway that were peeking around and watching me. And I remember being so scared that I went and hid under my family's coffee table and draped a blanket over it, kind of like a fort to protect. Something else that was really prominent when I was a kid was I would get these things in church that I still call to this day soul shudders. I have no name for it. There's no name online you can look up either. What it is a physical sensation that starts around the area of the heart and ripples throughout the body. And oftentimes it's when clairaudience comes in, someone is talking to me that is not present physically or manifest, or when I have a deep, profound insight or something that kind of changes my pace or keeps me on track. Um, Most of this really manifested when I was a young adult, about 22, 23. I was living with my parents my final year of grad school with my little brother, and there were some really huge paranormal activity things happening. First, it started with hearing voices in the other room. It sounded like a coffee party kind of going on, and every member of my family would be like, "Were you talking? I just heard this." No, it wasn't really me. And then I started to see lights go rolling across the ceiling of my bedroom, and they looked like rolling lights like you'd see at the bottom of the ocean. And that was often accompanied with feelings of positivity, neutrality. But it wasn't until the negatives started to come in that we really had an issue. I, again, had shadow people standing around my bed as I was falling asleep, and I was 20, 22, 23. I would have people talking to me. I would have uh, physical objects fly across the room. We've had a book fly across. I've had lampshades cross. And I, to this day, have only seen one ghost. I woke up and there was a man on top of me, and it looked kind of like when you smoke a cigarette and you blow the trails, and that was just like a human person, and then it kind of dissolved into what it dissolves into. Now, this got so bad to a point we actually sought help of a local medium. Her name was Holly Matthews from Phoenix, and she was the real deal. And she basically said, "Hey, these things aren't here for you. They're here for your brother because he's the stronger sensitive of the two, but you have abilities, so you pick up on that." So she taught us how to put boundaries around it to kind of tame the things that were negative that were coming into the room. It tamped it down, but it never really got rid of those things. So it's something we kind of learned to live with. And this is a gift that I still have to this day. I was just in Phoenix a week ago for my brother's wedding. And it was something I wasn't thinking about, but we were staying in an Airbnb, and I walked into my bedroom and I said, "Okay, there's something here, and it's watching me, and I'm that clairsentience, I'm feeling it press upon me." Grabbed my brother. I said, "Do you feel anything?" He said, "No." We let it be. We didn't think anything of it. Well, come to find out, the next day, my mom pops in and she goes, "Hey, has someone been opening all the doors?" I said, "What?" She goes, "Someone opened the outdoor door to the outside from our master bedroom." And so many different things happened and appeared that week. But it was just, again, confirmation of I had that insight, shared that with my brother, and then there was other physical evidence to support that. I do want to wrap by saying that I do think this is a universal gift. I don't think I'm unique, special by any stretch of the means. I think often people have that sense of intuition. Sometimes that's an idea that pops in your head. You're like, "Where'd that come from?" But it was really on track. Other times it's like one of my friends here where you get a call on the phone and someone's like, "I was just thinking about you." So they gave you a call. I think you can develop these abilities by having moments of stillness. Some people would call it meditation or silent prayer. But there is a spiritual team around you. Call them guides, call them angels, call them passed on loved ones who are there to help. So a little bit of strange ghost story today, but I hope that was informative to you, and I'm curious to see your comments below. Thank you.